Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming on the show. How you all doing? All looking good, yes? Thank you. Hello, viewers. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Chris Owners. Thank you for tuning in every week to make sure we give you something what is called entertainment on the show. But tonight, I have two special guests on the show. They're my very good friend, and they're going to be telling us about a lot of things that will bring a lot of experience for us. But before we bring all of this variety of entertainment, including live performance at the end of the show, let's go to the Ask Chris. Hello, everyone. How we are doing? Woo! Thank you. Wow, show me some love, everybody. Let's do it. Thank you. Okay, so my questions go to coming from Mac. Hello, Mac. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
Very good.
Hey, Chris. How can we become our own inspiration?
Thank you very much, Mac. That was a good question. Well, for me, I go with 3 points. First of all, is for you to define yourself. It is very, very, very important that you define who you are. That helps you as a person. The second part to go is knowing yourself inside out. When I mean knowing yourself inside out, we're talking about your strengths and your weakness. This is so important to us as a human being. If you cannot define yourself, then you cannot know your weakness and you cannot know your strength. Now, back to knowing yourself inside out is all about where your weakness is, be able to use your strength to occupy that position. So that's what we're going to be looking at later on the show. And then the last part of it would be, don't be afraid to make changes. It's so important. People are so scared of, if I make this step, what about if I fail? Why don't you do that step first and then define if you fail or not? And even though you fail, you can get up. You can work. So I believe tonight that would help you tonight, because the guest we're going to be having here tonight, she's one of those people who have been on that road, and she's going to be sharing all of that with us later on the show. But coming up, let's take a look at a documentary of my guest that we get in touch with. She's a singer and songwriter. Let's enjoy this. I'll be right back after this. Thank you.
A hungry feeling came on me stealing, and the mice they were squealing in my prison cell. And the old triangle, it went jingle jangle along the banks of the Royal Canal.
Thank you so much. How you doing?
Not too bad at all,
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for bringing us to your lovely apartment. It's a beautiful place.
No problem.
So how are you keeping?
Very good, I'm good, yeah.
Good.
I'm kept busy, I'm finished school, I just done my first year at NCAD.
Yeah.
But I'm, there's no such thing as a summer holiday. I'm still going at it in terms of music and lyrics, so kept busy.
Right. You're in college, you're doing your own thing. You're back. I know we're going to talk about your music and stuff. What's it like for you when you started singing?
Well, yeah, thanks very much for saying singing, because I did start off with singing. I did always have an inclination towards ballads, towards Irish ballads in terms of storytelling, and that's what incited the interest for me in telling stories in a cultural context. I like the fighting Irish kind of theme, ballads. Follow Me Up to Carlow, God Save Ireland, and etc.
Yes.
James Connolly and such. So I started reading these ballads in a lyric book that my father got me, and it intrigued me in terms of songwriting. But you see, my father was a musician. He stayed at home. My mother worked, but my father also gigged in the nighttime. Wow. So I had experience with having heard him rehearse and practice and conduct rehearsal sessions and produce and engineer and things like that. But we all use software these days.
It's all changed now.
Yeah, it's all changed. But he used to use hardware, like drum box, drum machines, and things like that, hardware. But so I got exposed to that through him, and I would have heard him and watched him songwriting as well. Okay. So I would have heard him kind of interacting with me ma, and she'd be sitting in her place, he in his place, and he'd be doing his bit of scripting of his songs, and he would ask her, what do you think about this? Or and she would say, well, maybe don't do it like that, but do it like this. Maybe this word, you know. And so she would give him a dig out. So anyway, so that, and my mother was a woman of words as well, because she used to speak publicly.
Oh, I see. I see.
And I would go to meetings with her as a child, feminist meetings and union meetings, and so they socialised me in a variety of ways, which is good. So that's how I got interested in vocalising, hearing my dad's voice, hearing him singing. But I wanted to say so much at such a young age, in such a short time.
You just want to get everything out. The energy is there, you know, everything just bubbling through your head, and then you want to kind of go into all of that, you know.
Big time.
So this is where you've been doing your own thing.
That's right, yeah.
So can you talk us through your day-to-day activities that you would do in the end?
I'm not a producer at the moment. I do a little bit of editing. I know what sounds I like. I trust the sounds. But I would generally, you know, send it to somebody else to have the track mastered. For example, with like a record I've released, I would have had that mastered, or with EPs I'd have them mastered at the end. So this is in the early phase when I'm working with Elayneous, this guy, you know, he's giving me the beat, I put my vocals on top of it. You know, I mull over the sound, I think, well, what's the context of this song, and the song creates itself. I'm also working with, at the moment, what I've been working on is a track called Hero, Hero. It's an acronym for heightened emotions, revealing openness, honesty, evaluating, relinquishing opposites. Okay, so that's the hook.
Wow,
Hero. Alright, so you know I love words, so this is the acronym, because you know all the young people love the acronyms these days. Can give me convenience or give me depth.
So what we're going to do, we're going to go into your balcony, so we're going to do some quiet free flow there. Ready?
Okay, cool.
Good one, love that. We'll be right back after this, thank you.
A hungry feeling came on me stealing, and the mice they were squealing in my prison cell. And the L triangle, it went jingle jangle along the banks of the Royal Canal. Warriors, honorary weapons divide, unification of arms, Ashwood crosses revive, essence of air, a native catcher in the heather, saluting born heroes when we bury the leather. Aspects of heritage, Greek past with present day, tactics by leverage cause coastal margins to fray. Obey nomadic urges kept within four green fields, rue the day of emigration abandoning hurdles and shields. Pick up immature habits, Celtic tiger encroaching, igniting myth fires, friction born for dousing. Sanctioned mediocrity, oppressed cultural identity, imposed docility, dilute whale, prowess, timidity. Elements combined, sweat, fair gloss, pauper, sons and daughters of air, and no the pure, not in the war. Praise an old schlitter, tougher than your eldest sister. Take you home again, Kathleen. Smash knuckles, palms blister.
Woohoo! Go on, girl! Thank you so much. Just how we do it every week. So join us in the studio next week. Thank you so much.
No doubt.
Thank
you,
to have
Chris.
Us in your home.
Great stuff. Big up G request.
See you soon.
Thank you. Amazing. Wow, so viewers at home, stay tuned for more of it, because we're going to have Temperamental later on the show. She's going to be talking to us, and also she's going to be performing at the end of the show. But before we bring her in, please join me to welcome my very good friend. She is a psychotherapist, but join me to welcome Trish Murphy, please, everyone. Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. Please have a
Thank you.
seat. One more time, everybody. Show some love. Woo! Hello, Trish. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, I'm delighted to be here.
Fantastic. You enjoyed the documentary as well.
Oh, I did. I did.
Good.
Fabulous. Just the juxtaposition of traditional and modern is fantastic.
Very good. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So, Trish, first of all, can you talk us through some of your wonderful work you've been doing as a psychotherapist?
Well, I suppose I specialise in couples and sexual intimacy work, but I would also see many individuals, you know, covering a whole range of things from anxiety and depression, but right through to relationship issues and bereavement issues, the whole gamut, really.
Wow, what a wonderful job. Let's go into the word anxiety. Anxiety is one of our biggest issue right now in the modern society. Can you educate our audience and viewers, first of all, what's the cause and how can we deal with this whole issue around us?
Well, I suppose it comes in many forms, but essentially anxiety is about fear. And fear, I think in our world, is probably our biggest issue. And it happens to everybody in the workplace: fear of being found out, fear of not being thin enough, fear of not being strong enough, fear, and I think even children experience it. Children at a very young age now are experiencing worrying about not being smart enough or not being popular enough. And so I think for all of us in our world, we need to tackle that fear. We need to do it on a personal basis so that we're not handing it out to the next generation.
Wow. So what are the ways for us to start dealing with this? Like you mentioned, like kids, you know, younger children coming up, maybe if they're in school, you know, confident around people, things like that. So where should it start from? Is it from parents or from adult age? How should we tackle it? From your experience.
Yeah, I suppose what I would say is probably that everybody should do their bit. So if we all challenge fear in our lives, so if we all maybe did something that we're afraid of every day, said something, took a risk in being honest perhaps, then we would be demonstrating to our kids how to have some courage and not let the fear dominate. So if every one of us did something, we would have a different world. It might take a few years, but we would probably get there.
Wow, wow, wonderful. Come and show some progress. That's very wonderful. Thank you for it. That's very good. And also, you also wrote an article on the Irish Times, which talk about sex, and I know my audience want to hear the story about
that. Yes, of course. Yeah.
You know, so can you talk us through, because there was some argument about, you know, sex side of it, you know, when men should and women should, couples and all of that. So can you dig into that for us?
Well, it was an interesting survey that the Irish Times did, and it really was looking at Irish people's responses to sex across a whole range of questions. And it was very interesting. So I suppose there's a lot of things we expect that came out in it, but then there are things that were surprising. And for example, they were saying that couples who were together more than 30 years began to have more sex again. Now for me that's fantastic, because, you know, I'm married 30 years this year.
Wow!
So, you know, that's good. So I think a lot of the things we think and we assume about this are often wrong. And also there's a lot of fear around it. Performance anxiety for young people. Porn is having a huge impact on our expectations and enjoyment. Probably is taken away from a lot of the enjoyment, because people are so worried about their performance that they're not really relaxing into it. So I think it's a very interesting survey, and honestly I'd recommend everybody to look it up.
You having a book coming up around the same table, and that book is called Tag Love or Hash Love?
Hashtag love.
Hashtag love.
Yeah.
Yes. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Okay, so it's a book about relationships, and I suppose it's a how-to and what to avoid book. And the title Hashtag Love probably comes from the fact that there's a lot about technology in it. Because these days, no matter what age you are, if you want to have a love relationship, you're probably going to have to go online. You're going to have to take the risk, create a profile, and then when you get into the relationship, you may have to deal with a lot of technology as well. You know, everything from sexting and texting to porn. So I think there's new challenges in relationships, and I suppose the book is there to try and, you know, answer some of those questions for people.
Wow, Tricia, don't give too much away, because we're still going to have you on the show, because I believe our audience and viewers are enjoying this whole content and topic. Wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to have you. So viewers, we'll be right back after this, because we're going to have Temperamental with us on the show. But Trisha's going to be right here. So we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Thank you.